Welcome, my Zentangle friends. My name is Emmy, and you are with me on the Emmy channel. And we're getting ready for a special, as they all are, though, I'm afraid to say, a special episode. I've got my tools, and grab yours so that you're prepared. I'm also grabbing a piece of 4x4 paper, cardstock, or whatever the best quality paper you have is. So let me show you where we're going to go today. We're going to make this darling little scene. And I just think it's so much fun. And it's going to be just an enjoyable little bit of time together. So let's get started. So the first one, this pattern Barz, is more or less something that you and I can do on the job. And the same with the snail. That's something you and I can just do as we're working. As far as the other ones go, we'll do a little review, but we'll do that as we go. So let's start with our pencil, because we need to have a little bit of layout here to make this come out right, this sweet little pattern that we have. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right about half, I'm going to make a very light line at least halfway across. Now I realize that's probably too light for you to even see it, but about halfway across. And then I'm going to make a line all down in pencil like a box. So that's what I did there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make not very much, about a ½ inch. I'm going to make a line again in pencil because I want to make this on an angle, this wall that we're going to do here. So what I'm going to do next is turn my paper so that my work is easy to get at and easy for my hand, and I'm going to make a line connecting this angled line and then straighten it back up and connect it in the other direction. And what I've done is just created a shelf. So the next thing I'm going to do to make this shelf work out all right is divide this in half, or I'd rather divide it in thirds. So approximately, okay, but the need to have a slant, and the next one will also be on a slant. But these lines that are going to connect are going to be straight. So you've got a slant line and then a connecting line to the side off the edge, another one, straight one, just like that. And we've set up a wall for ourselves, a very fun wall. You just wait and see. At least I think you'll like it. Okay, the next thing I want to do is about this height, is I want to make a very light, fairly wavy pencil line. And after that, I'm going to come up here somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to put a small oval or orb. And then I'm going to make some sticks off the top and another radiating out to the bottom. Turn my work. You see these are not perfect here. Mary Poppins does not live in this drawing or in this house. And make another stick. And two more. Make a stick that direction. Eyeball, come right on through to the other side. And then do this again. I'm going to make a stick go out here between those other two, and then a stick come off here. Seriously, does not matter if these are perfect or not. So the next thing I want to do is leave a region here for this pattern called Antidots, right over here. I want to just leave a little bit of pencil there. And then I'm going to put this bunny in here. Now, you don't have to do him, or you could put a tail on it, turn it into a cat or something like that. Let me show you how I would make the bunny. Move this away just a minute. So the bunny is going to go like this. Is that pink too hard to see? It might be. Okay, working on scrap, and I would definitely do this a couple of times. Make an orb of a size that you like. Make a second orb a bit smaller, maybe from the top, I'd say third of this, and make it go round like that. And we're practicing here. Now that's a little too big and it looks weird to me, but you'll still get the idea. Okay, so I'm going to come along from a little more than half, make a line up, come along here, do the same thing, make a line up, and the next thing I'm going to do is complete this like they're bunny ears. And maybe they should be a little softer, you would think. Remember, you're looking at the back of the bunny. You should definitely practice that a couple times, okay? While I have you here, I want to practice with you the pattern, the Antidots pattern. Antidots is like this. It's three, it's a wide, we call that often flux, and then a second one inside of it, and if you have room, a third one. And it's just that simple. That's antidots, like we're going to do in the corner of our drawing. And the one that we're going to do with Barz, this cool thing here, is really kind of easy to do, and we'll do it on the job because I think that you'll see it. Hopefully you got a picture of that if you want it in. Okay, we have pretty much laid out our project, except with the exception of this. I'm going to do one straight one here. As you noticed, I've got a bit of a curve going on. And then I'll be ready to switch over to pen. Use your 01 or whatever pen you happen to have handy in your house. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to overdraw what I did here with my pencil. I'm going to come down here and overdraw this again. This is the back of the wall. And I'm going to actually thicken this. You see I'm kind of being a little loose with my drawing because I want this to have a bit of a, I'd say a fluted edge or deckled edge on the back edge of that wall. Turning my paper again so that my work stays in front of me. This is the top of the wall. And again, it's very nice to have a bit of a curve going on because it makes sense that there would be, and darken it in. Just take your time with this and pause me where you need to. Very logical for it to be like this. Okay, so I'm going to darken or ink in the next line. And I'm going to ink in this one and this one. And then I'm going to come up here where this was on an angle. The first thing I'll connect this. Just overdrawing. And then this one is going to be on an angle. On an angle. This is your chance, if you weren't happy with your angle, to straighten it up. I have to be careful here. I want to leave this alone a minute because I want to get that anti-dots in there before, for my layout, before I do this, the rest of the wall where the bunny is sitting, if you choose to do him. So finishing this up, the idea of the fun Barz pattern is some of your bars will be on an angle. And then these are the nail holes. Pretend with me, okay? I realize they don't really look like nail holes. One thing that I came to enjoy doing while I was working on this was to have a bit of a wave in each of the levels. I choose to kind of call them bricks, but if you wanted to call them wood, you wouldn't be wrong either. So I'm going to do another thing here like this. Darken this one in too. Very wavy. I love it. And the next, so then I'm going to do that last one too, because I just think it's way too straight. It doesn't make sense for it to be so straight. These are called, to me, they're chinks, where you have a bit of darkness in between these bars. Okay, now that I've got that, I'm going to come along here and maybe I'll make one go on an angle that direction, or maybe not. I'm going to put the nail holes in again, and I'm putting them back a bit from where that hole is there, or where they connect. And then here, I'm going to do this one straight. Just for fun, That's just me. You should put it where you think it connects your own way. Maybe I'll do this one on an angle in this row. And maybe I'll do this one straight again, maybe. Straight kind of appeals to me there. We'll do some more illusionary work here to get this to look proper. So this is on an angle. We have to be pretty careful when we're laying things in here to keep the illusion of the angle that we have going. I might leave that's quite small. I might leave it alone. Maybe I'll have this one on an angle in this direction. And then I want to come back here and start to do some things that are going to make this look authentic, at least to me. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some like whiskers in here. You see, they're just pen flicks. Flick your pen. I think it makes sense that the flicks would be on either side of each other. But if you don't agree, then you should do them the way you think they look, of course. That one, it's like a crack in the wood or the cement, whatever. And then here, the same thing. Just get some practice going and do some of these flicks. They're really easy to do, and they make it look authentic, at least to me. I'll always have thought you thought so too. Haha. Now, I'm going to do something with where the mortar would be on these edges too. And, you know, if that's cracked there, maybe it would be cracked here too. You see how my mind works? Maybe not. Now, be careful here. If you work with cracks or you want to lay some in there, that's going to have to go on an angle. Okay? So remember that when you're working here, trying to build authenticity into the curve. And you might decide you want some coming the other direction too. So I have a little more flair for what I could consider authentic here. And I'm working very lightly. And I'm going to put some little bit of waves or maybe a hole or something here and there on this. See, I'm just kind of going over it very lightly, just to try to create a little more rustic look. Okay, now I'm ready to add those anti-dots that I showed you, and I'm going to start down in the corner and I'm going to add a row of anti-dots up here. So I'm going to make them big. Make your first flux, your second, and your third. And I've seen these two ways. Sometimes you might decide you want to darken them in, the third one. I've also seen them where they don't darken them in, and that's whatever appeals to you is going to be your drawing, and you get to decide these marvelous things. I can show you. Oh, too much coffee again. I hope you understand. I have to tell you something wonderful. It's the first that ever happened to me. Somebody actually, this one's going to go behind here, actually pushed the super thanks button. It's a first. I was so excited. I can't help but tell you, I was so thrilled that somebody did that. Because I'm not getting paid by YouTube or anything. So it's really quite a thrill that somebody thought enough of what I'm doing to give me some money. So yay me, lucky me. So if you want to, and I think it would be cool to, make some of these go out a little further, you know, like push them out here. Maybe you could do another one out here. Maybe because it's getting to the top of the bush, maybe this could be a little smaller, right? Maybe this one's going to have to totally go behind here. And we are getting ready. Maybe you could do a couple over here too. You will have to do that go behind thing again. You've done that before, so you're golden at this. cute. I love them. Okay, so this is going to be the same kind of illusion here that we did with the other. And I get so geeked about putting this bunny in here that I'm going to do it in pencil first. And I want him to have a little size to him. So I'm going to lay him on here. I'm going to lay that first orb like he's sitting on this or in front of this cute little wall that I'm going to be creating. I remember, and then I'm going to do a second one. It's going to be a little smaller. And I'm going to use this outside edge for the ears. Is it cute or what? He turned out pretty good considering. He's going to be okay. Yay me. Okay, that's our bunny. So let's finish the wall then. Put a little extra along the wall edge. Go back and darken it if you'd like. And we'll do one more. This part of the wall is straight, and I'm changing my mind here a little, which is why I have my eraser. Or I can use that pencil line that I did not use for shading. That would also be a very good use of it. This wall is going to be, is that going to be too big? No, I'm just going to call it what it is. It definitely looks like something that was stuffed in there. Get those nail holes in here. How fun. Alrighty, and that is that. So let's get some work going on to develop the authenticity again, like we did before. No one can say what size you might want of these. That's personal preference, of course. And then I will want this to have a little authenticity here too. So if those were curved, this is straight on. So that's going to change it up. But then I want to darken in here a little bit, real light. You see how I'm working real light with my pencil or pen, excuse me. And maybe I'll put a snail up on here. Just a thought. So if I decide to put a snail, I'm going to go round and round and round and round. You can do that either direction. Put a little body along here and a little bit of a tail. Couple of orbs here. I have room for him, so I'm going to just go ahead and do that. As cute as he can be. Good, good, good. I love it. I hope you do too. Let's ink in our bunny, or like I said, you could easily change him into a cat. Everybody knows this is an artist's conception, so please don't give a worry about being perfect, okay? Perfection is not here. So now I'm going to finish this star, and we're going to do this on the job, okay? All of these areas that I had in pencil, I'm going to ink in. Do not be at all concerned if these do not have to be perfect, okay? And don't worry if you can see the pencil mark, because that's also going to work out quite well for us, because you'll use that to help you build shade. Okay, now the way I like to do this is watch. I'm going to start on an angle, and then I'm going to bring a stick in fairly tight. So it's wide at the top and then skinny. I'm going to take another one, take one off each time, like ladders, and even to the base if you'd like. Turn your work. Take them off. Just like so many ladder shapes. Do it again. Don't you think this is the prettiest star? I hoped you'd like it. It's something that I came across a long time ago, and I'm so embarrassed to tell you. that I can't remember the name of it. And there's certainly more you can do with the star, but we're going to leave it alone on this work we're doing. I'll finish up here and I'll meet you at the end. There, didn't that turn out cute? You can darken the inside of this if you'd like, or you can leave it as it is. I have a tiny bit of erasing to do in my bunny head. Get that circle that I had to have out of there. The next thing I want to do is work a lot with my pencil. So grab your pen or your pencil, well, grab your pencil, excuse me. And the first thing I want to do is I want to lay some clouds up here. What I'm going to do is, clouds are going to be like this. They're going to come around here, around and around, and then they're going to wave off. Here's another one. I'm going to come around here like that. Now look at my sample, because I'm sure that you weren't looking at those clouds before. So see, shaky handwriting does not matter. No perfection here. So let's get some clouds up here. Round and round and round you go, and then off. Kind of loose and not touching that first design, and then off. And then maybe I'm going to do one going the other direction here. Round and off. Loose. How cool is this? And that has the illusion of being near the first one. We'll do this again. Round and round and round and off. Maybe we'll do one going the other direction. I want to leave a little space here, but I also can add any version of these that I want to the sky and give myself the illusion of movement. And then I want to get a bunch of shading. This is where I'm going to shade first of all, is on either side of this Barz pattern, right along either side, and I'm working very much on the side of my pencil now. My pencil is not a writing instrument. I am trying to extract graphite out of it. I want to leave that middle area. If you did that, I want to leave that white. I'm doing all of these first so that I don't forget what I'm doing. Okay, I want to lay graphite in between the rows of bricks, or whatever the bars are. We really haven't decided what we think they are. They could be boards, or if we don't like that, they easily could just be bricks, or they could be cement even. Now I want to lay a really dark, heaviest possible line down here. Not up here, that won't do me any good. But down here, I want to go over it a couple times with my pencil, because I want that to have the illusion of those two coming in together, okay? I'm going to go behind a few of these anti-dots with my pencil again. I would like to get them to look like they're laying here. And inside the bunny, I'll go around the inside of his body. and up, and I believe I'll have enough graphite that it'll take that up into the ears. Last place I want to add a little graphite is to this first one of these sticks for your star, and then around the base of your star. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm laying one here and then along there, right here, and then darkening in the middle. And we're just about ready to get our blender stumps out. Remember, you can always, if you don't have a blender stump, use a Q-tip. That'll work just as well. But blender stumps are only packs of 3 for, or excuse me, packs of like 10 for like $3. They're very, very inexpensive. So treat yourself to some if you haven't already, and be sure to dedicate some to different shades that you're using. Here's this dark one. I'm going to not loosen that out. I'm going to keep it tight. See how that gives the illusion that that is pushed in, these two? The wall is to the back of this. And then I have to turn my work again so that I can go between the bars where they're joined. And I will finish up this one first and then do the middle one. I'm pushing this out. Push the graphite out into the paper so that it diffuses out in the paper. See how I'm pushing it so that it doesn't look so dark where I originally laid the graphite down. And then I want to come back here again where it's easiest for my hand and lay graphite like this on either side, push it out like we did before. And that's all settled. I love the way that has the illusion of going into it. Now get the graphite along either side of where these nails and boards are. I'm just going to call it that, okay? One more little section here. And then, remember I laid some graphite on these Antidots. I have lots and lots of graphite on this blender stump now. If there's ever too much, grab your paper and just push off like this. Get all that graphite or a bunch of it off, and then it won't be too much so that you can control it more. Push. Yes, okay, up to the star. I'm going to soften right around the middle. And just as you can see, this goes really fast. Just soften. And then I do want to go around maybe just a couple of these and soften them up again. Not a ton, just a couple of them. Not all by a long shot. Let's see how that looks. I need a little bit here, I think. That's it. This is so cute. I hope you love yours as much as I love mine. And thank you again for supporting me. I appreciate it so much. Put your chop on here or your initials. Depending on what paper you're using, be sure to put your name on the other side too. And the date so that you remember what you did. I love what we did. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you again next time. Bye.